Now, engraving inside a crystal like this looks incredible, but when I first started, the results were pretty inconsistent. So I decided to properly test it with different settings, different approaches, and what I found actually made a huge difference. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to get clean results just like this, and more importantly, what you need to do to actually control those settings. And best of all, everything will be done inside of xTool. There is no external software required for this. So let's get to it. So before I show you how to do this, let me save you a lot of time. I tested a range of different settings and combinations using the same image, and as you can see, we have a completely different range of results. Some of these come out really bright and washed out, and you lose a lot of detail and it just looks overdone. Others are a bit better, but still a little bit flat, and they don't have that depth and clarity that we are looking for. And then we have the results like the one in the middle here, much clearer, better contrast, a nice distinctive image right there, and it actually stands out really well inside of that crystal. And interestingly, the best one was also the quickest one. Who would have thought it? This one took 1 hour and 40 minutes. This one right here took approximately 30 minutes. But don't worry, I'll show you exactly what settings controls this in a second. And once you understand what you're looking for, it makes a massive difference. I'm going to run you through a quick setup, but I do have a detailed tutorial, 2 of them on my channel. Your laser, the f2 Ultra UV, will come with 2 lenses. We are going to be using the xTool 135 inner engraving lens. We'll be installing that in a second. We'll also be using the riser stand as well. When installing your lens, I recommend you orientate it first. This circle here that says assembly face, have it facing towards you. Then we are going to lift it directly up. I will move the camera so you can see it. So we're going to go up with that dot facing forward centrally using 2 hands until you can feel it. Until you can feel it lock in place, and then turn it anti-clockwise. And you have it fitted in place. Also, don't forget to remove the lens cap. Now the riser stand, there are 2 screw holes there. Line up your screws with that. Just tighten the thumb screws down, as you can see me do here. And that's it. We are set up. We have the lens, we have the riser. One small point, make sure you cover the other lens with the lens protectors to protect it and make sure it doesn't get dirty. In terms of crystals, I recently bought a massive batch from Alibaba, but you can get them directly from xTool. There will be a link in the description, as well as other sources, and they come in different sizes and different types of packaging. This one is a 50 by 50 millimeters by 80 height crystal, but one thing I want to say that is very important is just because that's the advertised height, width and depth, make sure you measure it yourself, because as you can see, mine is 49.4 by 49.5, and we will be using those details when we set it up. Also check your height, and in this case it is 78.24. And as I said, there are different suppliers, and you can get fake K9 crystals. Get yourself a UV torch, and if it can shine through without making a cloudy dust inside of that crystal, then you have a genuine K9 crystal. One other recommendation is give your crystal a clean before you use it. I'm using a lens cleaner. I'm just going to get a little spray, use a microfiber cloth just to get rid of any of those fingerprints. We want this to be as clear as possible so the light can travel through. There we go. Now we will place it on our riser stand, and this is where this contraption here comes in handy. What I like to do is centrally position the crystal on the base, so the grid around it, I like it central, and then you adjust this until it touches it. And I always, if I move the camera, I always try and get a nice round number. So I'm going to go for 25 in this case, then tighten it down and remember that number, and there you have it. We're all set up. So remember those dimensions we took earlier, because we will need them in a minute. We're going to start by clicking that new project button, and what you'll find is you will get a new prompt you might not have seen before, and you'll get a fail to work notice. Don't panic at this stage. It's just telling you you've got the inner engraving lens installed, and it's saying you can't use the standard process on flat surface mode when you've got that lens installed. But we don't care about that, because what we're going to do is now select the mode on the top right over here as I'm showing you. And when we do that, we are going to select inner engraving. Then it's going to give us a nice GUI prompt where we're going to click the next button first, because we've already installed that plinth. And now remember earlier we measured our crystals. This is why I was saying it's so important, because by default, if you've bought a 50 by 50 by 80 millimeter crystal, you might just put those dimensions in there. But when you actually place your image in that crystal, it won't be central and it'll be a little bit off. So in this case, I measured 49.6 by 49.5, and my Z height was 78.2. The refractive index, you can look into what it says there, but just know that 9 times out of 10, you're going to keep it at 1.5. So hit that next button, and then remember also we adjusted our little pivot lever and we set it to 25. That's why you need to remember these when you set up. Click import canvas, and then as you rotate around, your crystal is now represented on that desk space, which is what we want. The next thing I recommend doing at this stage is changing your material in the top right. Click on material, and then you'll only be presented with one option, which is K9 inner carved glass. Click apply, and we are now set up and ready to go. The next thing we need to do is convert our photo into a 2.5D image. Now I want to show you the image I'm using. This is my dog Ted, and it's a photo taken with background. It's quite a complicated image there. And you'll see on the right, I have a background removed and I've cropped it so it's a nice shape. So this is important. Photo prep is important. So we can remove the background using the software I'm about to show you. But what I did is I removed the background using Canva, and then I did a crop rectangular box around it and cut it out, and I ended up with this on the right just here. So we're going to keep everything native to xTool, and I'm going to be using their own generator. And to get to that, we're on ATOMM, which is ATOMM.com. Then at the top right here, you're going to see Craft Lab. Click on that, and if you're not aware, they have some really good generators, and I'll scroll through a few of them here, and I've done a video in the past. In this case though, we want this one right here, which is 3D model generator. I want to add as well, you need to sign in with your account, and some of these things do cost credits, but they're a lot cheaper than the other softwares that are out there. So you'll then be presented with this screen right here, and all we want to do is look at these bits first. So you've got remove background. Like I said, I removed my background beforehand, but the software can do it for you. I'm going to keep it clicked anyway, and then you've got your processing size, and this is basically what your width and your depth of your crystal is. So ours was 49.6 by 49.5. I'm just going to keep it a nice round 50 by 50, and I'll just zoom out and put that in there. And then we want to click upload image. Once we've clicked that, find your downloaded image without the background, and it will upload it into the ATOMM AI 3D model generator. So it's uploaded, it looks good, and you're going to see here it costs 6 credits to do this. You can purchase credits. You can also get them for uploading designs for free. There are ways you can do this, and you also get 1 free conversion a day. So I'm going to click that generate button right now. You'll see you will be put into a line if it's busy, but it is quick. From my personal experience, it really doesn't take a lot of time, as you can see right there. So you're going to be presented with your 3D image right here, and if you rotate it by left clicking and dragging, I will zoom in a bit, you'll see that this is looking 3D now. It's taken your image, it's put it into an algorithm, and it's generated something called a point cloud. And if we zoom in, the reason it's called a point cloud is because there are lots of different points, and this goes back to what I was telling you at the start of the video, where you can have the same image with the same engraving settings, but what you do here determines how well it does. So let's talk about what we can change here. We can change the strength, and if you highlight it, it says adjust the contrast and sharper detail of the 3D photo. You can also adjust the dot spacing, which it says smaller spacing improves detail, too dense may affect processing quality, and by default they are set to 49 strength and 0.03 millimeter dot spacing. I'm now going to show you with actual examples what adjusting these two things actually does to your engraving. To give you a quick explanation, these are the default settings that the ATOMM software generated for me, and it was 0.03 spacing and then 49 strength. And as you can see, it is a bit washed out, it is a bit too detailed, and it did burn a little bit. So I have done tests on 0.04, 0.05, and also 0.06. And this, if you're curious to know the difference between each of those settings, the spacing settings, that is it lined up from left to right. In terms of the strength, on the left we have 1 strength, on the right we have the maximum of 70, and this is the 49 which it defaults at. And as you can see, there is very little contrast and brightness adjustment on that image, and as a result it looks really bad. Then you have the middle ground, which is recommended by xTool, and that one looks pretty good, to be fair. I increased it to 70, and that has added a nice contrast of sharpness, and this is where you need to understand those settings so you can adjust your image to how you think it needs to be. So now that you've seen that, from my experience, 49 strength is pretty good. I keep that, but in my experience, 0.06 for this image works best. And what I do is I drag the slider, and as you drag it, you'll see it updates. And if you're curious just to see what this does, as you increase the dot spacing, you'll see there is less definition. If you put it all the way down to 0.02, it may look absolutely amazing there, but the complete concentration of dots will create that cloudy, almost burnt look to your image. So we are going with 0.06. So at this point, with our strength specified and with our dot spacing specified, you can either export it or you can import it directly into xTool Studio. I'm going to export it by selecting that button up there. And as I said, you can open it in Studio where it will open it automatically, but I am going to click that download button, and in the top right, it's created a .ply file. We are now back in xTool Studio, and what we can do is take our generated file by clicking that import button over there, clicking the plus, and then you'll see this is all the testing files I've done here. So it might be worth renaming them to something that you know. Double click it, and it will then bring in your file, and usually it will centrally locate it on the actual crystal. So the rule of thumb is do not resize your image when you bring it in, and you'll see by default it actually brings it in quite small in relation to the crystal size. If you now stretch it up, what it will do is it will stretch across the distances of those individual points, and it will look washed out. So I've got a little trick that I came up with. If you want a bigger image to fill up your crystal, I'll show you that now. So back in AI 3D model generator on Atom, what I actually did is I changed my processing size here to, I think I did 90 by 90. It might have been about that. And this is for my crystal size. I uploaded the same image that I edited earlier, and then I'll create that generate button. It will cost you more credits to do this, so maybe it's worth doing it up front if you want. I'm going to click generate, and then it's going to generate our point cloud for us right now. So we've got our generated point cloud. I'm going to export it again by clicking download. Let's put it back in and let's see the difference. So we've got our existing one. We're going to click import. We're going to bring in the new one, and you should see now it's going to be bigger. And what is important about the way I've done there is it's bigger, but the dots are still concentrated and still the correct space apart, so it will come across the right way. And all you need to do now is using these arrows. And what I recommend, if I zoom in down here, you'll see there are these little squares. If you click that one, it will centrally locate us on the front point of that crystal, which allows us to manually drag it into a central position. Then what I would recommend after that is select this one here, which will go side on, and then we can use this arrow here to then position it centrally or wherever you want it. And we use these arrows to move it up and down, left and right. And then what I can do is I can delete the original one out of that, move this one into that correct position. And if we now rotate by holding the left mouse button, that is filling that crystal much better. We have the correct orientation and the correct point cloud density. We are good to go onto the settings. Now, in terms of settings, I'm a person who loves to get custom settings, okay? But what I have to say, with all the testing I've done, the reference material settings that xTool specify here are the best settings that I have managed to get yet. I'm not saying they're definitive, but I'm saying you can keep them. They are good to go. And that is using that K9 inner engraving carved glass material, 80% power, 200 dot duration, 0.04 layer height, and then 60 frequency. That, in my opinion, is good enough to go. So we now have everything set up. So we are ready to actually process this and see how it comes out. So there you have it. We have a 27-minute engraving time, which is actually really fast for these. And what I will say is when I did the bigger, the 0.03 millimeter and the 4 and the 5, it was taking an hour and a half. And these results were definitely better. If you're curious about the processing plan, you can click on that. And as we draw it across here, it will show you that that laser is going to build up layer by layer, creating our 3D image. So I'm happy with that. 27 minutes is good. We're going to click start. It's going to send it through to our machine. Let's see how it does. So if you're trying this yourself, what I would recommend is use the xTool Studio default crystal engraving settings. They are good, and focus more on the actual image conversion. The dot spacing is critical, and that is an important one based on the type of image you've got. Also, those strength settings are really, really key to get that nice contrast and brightness balance. And what I will say is don't be afraid to change things and try things. Order more blanks, give it a go. Every image is going to have slightly different settings, but all you need to know is how to manipulate that data to get the best result. If you are interested in getting the xTool F2 Ultra UV or any other laser from xTool or accessory, then you can support the channel and allow me to keep making these videos for you by purchasing through the link below. It doesn't cost you any extra, and it just helps give a little bit back to the channel. And finally, if you want to become an L3D supporter, then you can join the channel below. You'll get early access to videos, you'll get discounted rates on all of the jigs that I sell, as well as your name mentioned in stars at the end of the video. So give it a consideration. Subscribe, like, and have an absolutely wonderful day today, guys. Take it easy.